All right, welcome back to the APX podcast. Today, we continue with our series of guests in the show, and we bring back another coach. Um, we interviewed a yoga instructor and owner. We interviewed a chiropractor and owner, also business owner, also. But we're going back to the triathlon coaches today, and great triathlon coach. He's been in the business for 3 years. Adam Turrey. He comes with a background in sports also. He was a former collegiate baseball player, utility, which knows everything of all the of every aspect of the sport. He's also a master's from San Jose State in city planning, and his level 1 triathlon certification. It's a long and short course from 2020. He's also certified personal training from NASM, and he's married with his wife Dana, 10-year marriage, and he has a beautiful daughter, Paloma, an 8-year-old. With not more to add, I'll leave you guys, and please welcome Adam Turrey.
Thank you for having me on your show, Luis. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, we have a lot to talk, and I mean, I definitely want to start first, just like as I usually do with some of our coaches. Like, how did you start in triathlon? Right? Like, tell us your story so people can know. Like, and a lot of our listeners can probably relate on how you got started. So, I'll let you. Yeah, microphone is yours.
Thank you. Well, it's kind of interesting that I wound up in triathlon. I never thought I would be here, to be honest with you. I didn't grow up as someone known as having endurance capability. I hated running growing up. I did a little bit of swimming at my neighbor's, pool, and bike riding. I maybe rode a BMX bike to the park. Um, It wasn't until 2015 when I had moved to Santa Rosa, California, and I was kind of in bad mental and physical shape. Um, I lived near downtown Santa Rosa, and they were having Ironman Santa Rosa in town, and I was walking my 1-year-old daughter in a stroller to go view it. And as I was near the finish line, I was seeing the athletes come in, and I had this, perception in my mind that triathletes were these 0% body fat, slim, Olympic looking athletes. And to my surprise, there were all sorts of, body size individuals of all ages too, finishing that race. And I just couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, what, this can't be right. Um, and so something about being there at that time made me interested in seeing what triathlon was about. So I went home and I researched triathlon and triathlon training, and I needed a change in my life. And I thought, well, hey, maybe this is the change. So I started training for triathlon, and I lost quite a bit of quite a bit of weight, and my energy went up. I was also unemployed at that time and having a hard time finding work. And I don't know, maybe the training kind of like gave me a new kind of energy that where I eventually found work shortly afterward. So all these positives started entering my life, and I I did my first race in Boulder, Colorado in 2020, 2021, somewhere around there.
Which race was it?
It was Ironman 70.3 Boulder.
Wow. So
And
you went straight from like 0 to half Ironman in Boulder, which is not
yeah,
one of the easiest ones.
it was pretty hard. Yeah.
Yes.
So that shows you how green I was. I didn't really know about the progression maybe I should have taken from sprint to Olympic to half Ironman. Um, but I fell in love, Luis. I met people from around the world. I've never seen that much support in a single event. People were, asking me where I'm from. People were asking me if I needed a gel. Um, and I just kind of felt like this is where I wanted to be. And after I got done with that race, I was so inspired. I wanted to get into coaching. And so shortly afterward, I pursued my USA triathlon certification and just never looked back and just had, um, we could talk about it more, but I kind of married my
Yeah.
idea of bringing more equity to the sport.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, taking advantage of the or the you wanting to talk about coaching, I want to go back, right? And I always want to dissect, like, how was that first race? Like, how, like you said, you did not have a background in swimming, you did
yeah,
not ran much or run much. So tell me, like, how, like,
yeah,
okay, you got excited about the Ironman, and you did your Google research about triathlon, and it cleared, like, when you saw, like, it's funny that you say, like, triathletes are the low, not zero, but definitely low body fat percentage athletes, and it's definitely not true. Like, it's all body sizes, as you said, and shapes, and ethnicities also, which we're going to talk about also a little further ahead. But again, like, how did you train for that first race? So I want you to listen to the questions, right? So it's going to be, I want you to tell me, like, what equipment did you use? Like, how did you train for that race? And why did you choose Boulder? Okay,
yeah,
so start from like, how did you train, or
yeah.
like, did you sign up first and then started training, or you just started training and then decided for a race? Tell us that also.
Yeah, good questions. So I actually originally signed up to do 70.3 Santa Rosa, but there were several fires in Santa Rosa at the time, and then COVID came. So they canceled that event and gave everyone a list to choose from of other races. So I had always wanted to go to Boulder. I had this idea of the Rocky Mountains in my head for years. I always wanted to visit. So I said, let's do Boulder. Um, you asked how did I train? Well, I don't know if you remember these videos on YouTube, but this guy triathlon Taryn, um, he had a number of videos for like beginner triathletes and you know how to from things like equipment, how to progress your training, number of tips, and between that and like you said, Google searches, um, I kind of adopted the 80/20 methodology and slowly putting things together. Um, Out of the three sports, running was my best. For baseball, I was a pitcher, so we ran a lot. Um, but I had never done like cycling for speed, cycling for distance. So like I was really quite awful at cycling. Swimming, same thing. I was just, swimming for speed and distance weren't something I was familiar with. I was like swimming like a log, um, zero speed.
Did you join
And
a program locally, or you just go to the pool by yourself? And is that what you were
yeah,
doing? What were you doing?
I hit up the YMCA pool and was just in there, just like I was just swimming without any like real structure, just swimming for time. Um, I didn't know really what I was doing with my swim form at the time. I was super green, super new.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
Okay, so you chose Boulder, right? And
yeah,
your equipment. What kind of bike did you have?
yeah.
Like, uh, like, how did you figure out shoes and goggles and all this through stills, through the videos, or how did you figure all this out?
Yeah, well, I bought a bike years ago off of Craigslist. It was just like a simple steel frame, like bike someone would use just to, I don't know, like ride around their neighborhood. And I went to a bike shop and I said, "Hey, is this gonna work for me?" And the guy like laughed at me and he's like, "No, absolutely not. Like, you need to like get something that's more race ready." And so he sent me to the Trek shop and I ended up maybe paying, for something I couldn't afford, but I bought a Trekkie Monda and
Okay.
it was like I still use it actually to this day. So and then I put the aero bars on and I had never ridden in the aero position before, and that was kind of a new thing
You
too.
think for you, okay.
Um, then I bought a tri suit off of Amazon. Um, I
Wetsuit.
bought
How about a
yeah.
wetsuit? Yeah.
Uh, I I didn't have a wetsuit. I didn't have a wetsuit. I
Okay.
showed up to Boulder without one. I wish I had one. Didn't even know at
You
the
just,
time that it,
it's a wetsuit
it
swim.
was a wetsuit swim. Yeah, I was like one of the only people there without a wetsuit.
So you
Um,
swam without a wetsuit. Okay.
yeah, I did.
It wasn't that cold or what? Like how, like, tell me about that first race experience now. Like, okay, you show up to
Yeah,
Boulder
yeah.
with all the equipment that you've been using for a while. And this is like ties up, right? So with my question about the wetsuit, like you show up there, what happens? Like, what's your expectation there?
I mean, yeah, I was pretty embarrassed. Being like one of the only people there without a wetsuit was kind of weird. Um, I think I was so full of adrenaline, I just kind of didn't really feel the water temperature, maybe. Um, but yeah, so I was, learning my mistakes quickly. Um, I think there was a girl there in like a bathing suit next to me, though. Maybe she was like the only other person there without a wetsuit.
Yeah,
Um,
there's always a handful of yeah, like skin people. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I was learning things fast. But so yeah, I wish I had a coach, you know. Um,
Okay, that's a
um,
good thing to mention. Yes.
yeah.
So, like, okay, tell me about the swim. How did the swim go? You got out of the water. You jump onto your bike. Did you do nutrition? So tell me step by step what happened. Like, how was the swim? Was it
Yeah.
cold? Was it not cold enough? Adrenaline helped you?
Yeah. Adrenaline helped me. I'm definitely someone who prefers cold over warm. So
Okay.
anything cold is I prefer working out in those conditions. So it was fine. I swam a decent time. I think I averaged like a 153 per 100 yard pace. Um, my sighting. Okay, let's talk sighting. My sighting was
Yes.
terrible. I looked
Okay.
at my workout afterward, and my line for the swim was just like,
Was not a
all
line.
no, it wasn't a line, it was a swiggle. Um, so I got done with the swim, but I was pumped. I got out. I was, in T1. Other people were walking around me to their bikes, and I wanted to run, but they were walking. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to like show anyone up here. So I walked to my bike, but even though I think it's like more badass to run to your bike, I still walked.
Yes.
Um, and I probably spent too much time in transition, it was like my first time in a race. And um, you mentioned nutrition. That's the part I completely neglected. I didn't have a nutrition plan. Kind of thought just vaguely like, oh, I'll eat like you know, a gel here or there. I didn't measure out or time my
Of
nutrition.
course. Yeah. You
Um,
showed up there without any knowledge. Okay.
Yeah. I actually did really well on the bike. In Colorado, the air is so thin, you just really can bomb down hills. I think I went too fast though, too hard. Um, and on the run, I was completely gassed. I had nothing left.
What were
Um,
your times? So you got out of the water. What was your time out of the water?
I think it was like 40 minutes.
Okay.
So,
So not so bad for a first timer. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not
And
bad,
without zero experience. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what was the time on the bike?
I think it was around a little like around 2.5 hours, maybe.
That's good
Yeah.
too. Yes. And then
Yeah.
you get off to run. And what happened
Yeah.
on the run?
Get off the run and I take my first few steps and I get a side stitch cramp. And I had never had one like in all my months of training lead up, and I didn't know how to handle it. But it didn't go away. It stuck with me all 13.1 miles. And yeah, my pace was like 12, 13 minutes on the run. Um, it was a slog the whole way. So
So what was the time finish for the half for the
I
half marathon? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, for the half marathon, I don't know actually. I don't know what
Over
the
two
time of the
hours, something around 2 hours. Yeah.
probably. Oh yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was
And
very,
total
very
time
poor.
for the race?
Was 5:50. So
That's good.
I was kind of
Yeah.
happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
your first race ever with
yeah.
all the like inexperience in the world,
Yeah.
and you finish under 6 hours. And
Yeah.
this is a course with a ton of elevation, which I don't know. It's like a lot of elevation gain.
Rough
So
climb.
yeah, so it's amazing, right? That you finished this, and but of course, like imagine how much better you would have done if you had the right guidance, right?
Totally.
Like
Totally.
you like
Yeah.
did your research and find a coach, someone to help you there. Okay, let's move on to so next race. Did you race again afterwards? Like what did you do after that?
Yeah. So I think that was the end of that season. And then I started getting into like local races in the Bay Area where I live. They have a sprint triathlon called the Stanford Triathlon, and
Okay,
it takes place in Redwood City. And I got my first podium. I got third place.
there you go.
Couldn't believe it. And that's kind of like helped me, you know, feel like a bona fide kind of like triathlete. I'm like, cool, like I have podium potential. So that was exciting. Uh, so this is all last year. Last year was a busy year for me. I had Escape from Alcatraz,
Okay,
and, and
how
and
was
then I had
escape? How was swimming in the bay in San Francisco?
the one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. It's wild. Like I know you used to live there, right? You used to live in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
yeah.
That water, if you get any in your mouth, it's just like the saltiest thing you've
It is
ever
one of the
tasted.
saltiest waters. Yes, yes.
So it was choppy. Um, it's just mayhem. There's like hundreds of people all jumping off a boat, and you're all just competing for space and a line. And it was crazy. I actually did pretty well in that swim, fortunately.
What
Um,
was your time? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Oh, actually, no, I don't remember the time, but I remember it being faster than I expected.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So,
So you
they
had a
say,
wetsuit now, I hope.
yeah, I had a wetsuit. Yeah, I don't think I could have done it without a wetsuit. Um,
Yeah.
but the current was incredibly strong, and some people got washed out towards the Golden Gate Bridge because
Yes.
they took a direct line to the beach, and you're supposed to kind of like angle it so the current takes you.
Yeah.
Um, so so the swim was good. The bike, there's some San Francisco hills, and I did pretty well on the bike too. Overall, I had a good race. Um, can't
Sand
complain.
ladder. Did sand ladder treat you right?
Uh, I mean, I, I walked it.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know anyone who. I mean, some people run it, but I walked it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Okay. And
yeah.
so that was your most recent race, right? The escape. Have you raced anything else afterwards?
After Escape, I did Ironman California
Last year.
uh, last year.
I didn't see
Yeah.
you there. I was volunteering.
Oh
I was up
man.
I was up mile 25, that last run
Yeah.
station. Yeah.
I was maybe the guy getting hypothermia at the last part of the run. Um,
It was a cold
yeah,
one. Yeah. Yeah.
I wore these cut off sleeves, and
You guys got
my
rained
heart
on
rate
all day.
got
Yeah.
rain, a little bit of wind. Yeah, it's a challenging race, but
Do you
beautiful
remember your
course.
time from that one?
I got just under 12 hours.
Oh, that's
So
fast. That's good too. Yeah,
yeah,
for a rainy day, not too bad.
yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm assuming now that by now you have like you've learned all your nutrition and all that stuff, and like through experience, like you gathered all that information through education also, right? Now you're a
definitely.
certified coach. Like this is all knowledge that you can transfer to your athletes, right?
Yeah.
And like we make a difference as coaches now with the experience and with the education that we get.
Mhm.
um like for let's I'm gonna ask you your nutrition strategy now that
Mhm.
Ironman California is coming again and people are listening, right? So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about it. Like what was your strategy last year for nutrition?
You know, I'm not like as detailed as a nutritionist or
Yeah,
anyone like
just give me
that.
the basics. Yeah, like times
Yeah,
and what you eat. Like I don't want you to give me calories or like
yeah,
exactly like carbs and all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the main things for me, Luis, are I basically want to race with the same things I train with, right? I want my
Right.
stomach to be used to whatever I train with come race day.
Which is
And
key. Yes.
yeah, so for me personally, I'm really a fan of the Morton bars. Um,
Which is what's served at every race. Yeah.
yeah, they just kind of like give me sustained energy, and I really like scratch powder, scratch
Okay.
chews, and I also use those Cliff Blocks.
Okay.
Um,
So how like do you have any nutrition before the swim? Like before the
yeah,
race? Like how like what's your breakfast like?
yeah, oats, banana, peanut butter. I will eat that. Yeah, breakfast. And then I usually get like some kind of like a bar in me about 45 minutes
Jumping in the water?
before jumping in the water. Um, hydrate to the point where I'm just not feeling thirsty anymore. Um, and it really kind of starts the night before, really, for me. My go-to dinner is like pasta or something like that.
Okay.
Something that's like not, that doesn't have like a lot of complex carbs, something that's kind of easy, maybe some like white rice or something like that. Nothing that's going to upset my stomach. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Then you're out of the water, you get on the bike. Like what are you eating on the bike?
On the bike, um, I'll have like half a Morton bar, just something that's gonna settle in me and hang like sit a little bit, and then about like every 10 to 15 minutes, I'm maybe having like a cube, cliff block.
Okay.
Um, I'm kind of like trading swigs between. I usually have like one water bottle that's just water, and then another it's like kind of like scratch powder with the carbs in it. Kind of just trading swigs between that. About every 10 to 12 minutes, I'm having a swig. Um, Usually, like on the short course, or rather 70.3, I'm trying to finish a Morton bar about oh, maybe like every hour and 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so
And
it's
then on the run, tell me about the run.
yeah. Well, on the run, I really don't like I like to feel light. So I'm kind of
Yes.
like not really eating the Morton bars so much. I'm kind of relying on the Cliff Blocks,
Yes.
um, you know, kind of more easier things to digest.
Yes.
So yeah,
All right.
that's
All right. And then well, you get to the finish line and it's Adam, you're an Ironman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wish they said that. They actually got my name wrong. They called me
Oh
someone
no.
else.
Oh,
So
oh, so
yeah,
you get a redo.
I wish. Well, actually, I wish they did because my tracker stopped working on the bike flag. So my family didn't know where I was,
Oh no.
and so they were panicked. They thought maybe I got hurt somewhere on the course. Um, but yeah, I was crossing the finish line. I was really like in my head thinking, oh, like they're gonna say, Adam, you're an Iron Man. I had this like vision, and they called me someone like Fred from Fresno or something. And it's like
Oh,
this is what I signed up for. So I guess I got to run it back or something like
you
that.
have to do it
Yeah,
again. Yes.
yeah.
All right.
So
So okay, we talked. So let's go now to your coaching and like how you've transferred. Like first, let's. What inspires you to become a coach? Let's start with that.
yeah, well, I like making a difference in people's lives. I know what triathlon did for me, the confidence it gave me, and the boost in life, and I thought like maybe I could kind of impart that kind of feeling upon others. Um, coupled with like what I learned in college and what I've seen at races is the lack of diversity that exists in triathlon. I feel like everyone should have equal access to triathlon participation, and that's just not really how the current system is set up. So I wanted to create a triathlon club that was inclusive and created a bit more equity in the sport. So
Okay, but
yeah,
so triathlon is not it's an expensive sport,
yeah,
right? So just like the investment of the bike to start with,
yeah,
right? And then race fees are also expensive. So you like pedal back from like, do you want like how like are you going to or you mentioned a program, right?
yeah,
Pay it forward program, right?
right.
Tell me like how the program works. How did you like hear about it? And yeah,
Yeah,
tell me about it.
definitely. Well, you and I are both students in the Michelle Lake coaching business program. Michelle, is, working with Robin Barth, had this, I told him I'm a coach who's trying to create equity, and we kind of came up with this idea of the Pay It Forward program, which works by accepting donations from anyone really, especially from people on my team. They will donate a little more each month to raise funds to provide coaching services to um, low income and people of color so they can participate in triathlon. I've been blessed with athletes who donated bikes. Um, they donated kits. They donated money to, help athletes buy all the crazy equipment we need to race and train. Um, so that's kind of it's been a success so far. I'm really happy with where it is. Um, I have one athlete right now signed up. This is gonna be their first race season ever in triathlon. His name is Brandon. He's out of San Francisco, and yeah, he's gonna get a new bike
Okay.
real soon. So it's amazing. Yeah.
So okay. And so the funds come from donations and like how do you like select the people like the that are going into the program?
Yeah. It's just like an open enrollment, really. I open enroll, I encourage anyone to apply, and
Like what's
so
the
it's
criteria? What's the criteria like for
yeah,
like let's say uh Joe Schmo comes and says, I want to sign up for your program. Okay,
yeah,
like what kind of questions do you have? Like, let's say
yeah,
people that are listening to the podcast today, they are interested
yeah,
in it. Like, what do they need to do to apply to this program with you?
yeah. Well, we should set up a conversation. I want to learn a little bit more about you. I want to learn about your background a bit. I haven't turned anyone away yet.
Okay,
I make it really clear though, like the type of athlete that would qualify for the program. Um,
what
and
is the type of
so
athlete? Yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking to train, people who come from communities of color, individuals who lack the resources to participate in triathlon. Um, there's a stat on the USA Triathlon website that shows,
Okay.
um, triathlon is comprised of 88% Caucasian racers, 4% Latino, 3% Asian, and less than 1% African American. So, if you're an applicant who can kind of really help tilt that scale, I want to work with you.
Okay. So that's one of the criteria, like being a minority.
Hmm.
Okay. How about in a financial aspect? Like, is there like a cap
Yeah,
of like do they have to give you like
yeah,
income, a history, or
yeah. I'm not really, into kind of delving into anyone's private business too much. I think
right?
like through a conversation, I can kind of get a general sense of someone's
So it's more
financial
about
situation.
being. So it's not so much about financial, but more about being a minority. Is that what I'm understanding then?
Both are important to me. However, I think for the purposes of this program, and its intention to kind of like level the playing field, I'm kind of giving a little more preference to minority participation.
Okay.
However, I'm you know, I, if someone is of low income status, like I'm definitely would probably consider some kind of discounted coaching or something like to that effect.
Okay. Okay. And okay. And so let's see, because what's your ratio right now of athletes? Like, is it, are you seeing it within your team?
Yeah, we have a really diverse team at Lucid Motion. We have Caucasian, we have Filipino, we have Indian, we have Latino. So it's pretty cool. Like yeah, I'm working with females, males. It's a pretty diverse team we have.
Team. That's awesome. That sounds
Yeah,
great. I mean, it's great to know also because it's true. Like you show up to the races and I mean, you are Latino. I am Latino. So we're probably one of the few darker people in the
yeah,
transition area or on the starting line, and
right.
then and it's not only here. I mean, in the US, but I would say I don't know if all over the world, but like I was just in Finland last year for the World Championships, and again, like triathlon is an expensive sport, and
Right.
like it that translates also into like the ethnicity, like it's you can see
Yeah.
it. So I like the idea that you're coming up with, bringing up this program to the sport because it's a fun sport, and as you say, it helped you mentally and physically. So it's like it's a great idea. Um, all right. So
Thank
what's
you.
your team's next race? What you guys what's the plan? Are you guys going to
Yeah,
Santa
we have
Cruz? Yeah,
yeah, Ironman 70.3 Santa Cruz in like 5 weeks. So I'm taking a small team here where I live in Sonoma County, couple racers, and we're gonna head down there in a few weeks. So it's getting down to the nitty gritty.
that's
Yeah.
fun. That sounds good. Like do you have any, like what's the level of your athletes? Any podium finishers like, or what's, or just like like any first time racers?
All first time racers. We're a
Okay, okay.
very intermediate kind of first timer type of club. So this will be two individuals' first 70.3 race. Um, a couple of them have done, I think, an Olympic distance, but this is the first long course.
Half. Okay,
So yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
exciting.
Excited. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. All right. Well, I let's see, what else do I have for you? Do you have any other things that you need to add? Do you have anyone racing Ironman California, or anyone like any long
Um,
course or iron distance races?
Not yet, maybe next year, but I am going to Ironman Santa California to root a couple of people on. Um, I understand you're racing it, correct?
No, I'm
Are you?
doing Arizona.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going? Are you going to be at Sacramento?
I'll probably will. I
Okay.
need to sign up to volunteer, which I've been
Okay.
like, it keeps ringing in my ear.
Yeah.
Volunteer, volunteer. I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta go volunteer
Yeah.
probably. So yeah,
Okay.
which is fun. It's a fun experience to be on the course helping athletes,
Yeah.
handing water or nutrition, so, or just cheering on
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So, well, anyway, I'll see you there. I'm going to be on the side. There's a couple athletes I'm rooting for. I'm also like a run try mag community leader. And so we'll have a cheer section and we'll be rooting on various athletes, who follow Run Try Mag. So,
Okay.
yeah,
This is a magazine.
it is. It's a pretty cool endurance media outlet. It's
Okay, so
yeah,
I'm lost. Tell me about this. Run Try Mag.
yeah. Run Try Mag is really cool. So it's kind of a hub for like the everyday athlete. They're really kind of just premised on getting people into endurance sports of all backgrounds and um, ages and body shapes and
Right.
it's really
Where
incredible.
like where can I find it? Like, is this on social media as well?
Oh yeah, they have a great Instagram presence. Run Trimag, I believe is their
I
handle.
can't believe I don't know about them. I probably seen them, and I'm like just off my
Yeah.
head. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they would love to talk to you actually about your program. You should kind of get in touch with Jason or
Okay.
Lori
I'm
there.
taking note. Yeah, Run, Try, and Mag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty cool. All right. Well, this is Adam Turrey. Today on our program, I like tell me if people want to find you, where can they find you? Like, what? Tell me your Instagram, your website.
yeah. Yeah. Instagram is lucid underscore motion underscore fitness. Website is lucid motion fitness at lucidmotionfitness.com. If you're
Okay.
in the Sonoma County area, like I've been doing a lot of group workouts, would love to kind of meet up and
When are you
we
guys
can
meeting?
we meet randomly, but like we have like a 5K run tomorrow at Shady Oak Brewing, and I'm gonna be doing a number of other just random bike
So
rides.
this
So
is
if
on
you follow
Saturdays.
me,
On Saturdays, you usually have a run or something like this.
Saturdays and Sundays, there's usually some kind of
Okay.
bike ride or
Yeah,
run.
because we're
Yeah.
recording this on a Friday, and this is gonna come up maybe next week. So they it
Okay.
be too late for the ones that if you yeah. But
Yeah.
like Saturdays or Sundays, you meet, and again, Adam or Lucid Motion Fitness. Forgot
Yeah.
to mention that Lucid Motion Fitness. You're the head coach of this. This is your company. Yeah.
My
So
my baby. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. All right. I like that. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
So
Adam, thank you for accepting the invitation. It was fun chatting with you today and learning about your experience with triathlon and how you became a coach. Um, with nothing else to add, thank you everyone for listening to our show today. Again, as usual, I ask for your best review. Don't forget to follow. And until the next time, thank you, Adam.
thank you, Luis.